fly shit. Look all you want, nigga, don't try shit. Back from the future on some party McFly shit. The doors go up and Lord knows I shit. On these lame niggas, on these punk bitches. You don't wanna see me reaching where that trunk switches. We in the club with the black and white skunk riches.
What's good YouTube? It's your boy, your nigga, the alpha male, aka 2K. Man, I'ma stop hitting y'all with them real ass joints in my intro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not ready for that real shit. Maybe for the next one I use somebody like Justin Timberlake. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not ready for that real shit. Yo, if y'all haven't figured out why your boy is so happy based on the title of this video, I'll go ahead and elaborate. December 9th, the deal is done. We got Vasyl Lomachenko versus Guillermo Rigondeaux live on ESPN at Madison Square Garden. Let me repeat, this fight is live on regular motherfucking television. You know what I'm saying? A fight of this magnitude. Now, I haven't really seen a definitive answer of what weight the fight is going to be at, but my sources are telling me that Lomachenko will defend his 130-pound WBO title. So Rigo will be jumping up 2 weight classes from 122 to 130. All the Twitter beef, you know what I'm saying, all the back and forth between fans, all the doubts about Loma, all the doubts about Rigo, this fight is going to put that motherfucking shit to bed, yo. Real talk. Now, of course, this is a fight between two accomplished professionals, but the story behind this fight is really about two of the best amateurs to ever do it about to get into the ring under the professional lights. Now, these two cats are named alongside two other great amateurs that are recognized as two of the greatest to ever do it. Both of them, ironically, Cubans, and both of them heavyweights. You got Teofimo Stevenson, who many compare to Muhammad Ali. And then, of course, you got Felix Savon, where there's a consensus out there stating that Felix Savon is the greatest amateur ever. That cat is known for turning down a lucrative professional debut fight, a fight that a lot of cats thought he was going to win, even though it would have been his debut against a prime Mike Tyson. That's how serious this motherfucker was. You know what I'm saying? And there's also some footage out there where he knocked out "Let's go, champ" in the first round. Real talk. These two cats are named alongside of those great amateurs who never turned professional. First off, before I give y'all the background information on both fighters, this is going to be the part of the video where a lot of you dumb motherfuckers that came to my channel talking about I'm a Vasyl Lomachenko hater, y'all gonna look real fucking stupid right now. You know what I'm saying? As I said before, my channel is non-biased. I'm a fan of the sport before I'm a fan of any fighter. That keeps my opinions objective, and it also allows me to support my opinions with nothing but fucking facts. I gotta commend Vasyl Lomachenko and give him 100% of my respect for taking a fight he really didn't have to take. Let's face it, he's got a huge powerhouse in HBO and another huge powerhouse and Top Rank backing him, right? Vasyl Lomachenko could do whatever the fuck he wants, fight whoever the fuck he wants, and he's still gonna be pushed with these two powerhouses backing him as one of the greatest fighters to do it in boxing. You know what I'm saying? They're already fucking comparing him to Muhammad Ali, and this nigga only has 10 fights. So he could have actually taken an easy road similar to Gennady Golovkin, right, up to the point where the walls were closing in on him and he had to fight somebody. That's exactly what's happening with Golovkin. The walls were closing in on him, so he had to take on Danny Jacobs. And then since he didn't want to take, you know, Billy Ho, he has to take fucking Canelo now. Canelo's the big money fight, which is what Golovkin always really wanted. He was never really about being the undisputed at 160 like a lot of his dumbass fans tried to say. It's always been about the money, and it shows now. But the walls were closing in on Golovkin. Vasyl Lomachenko could have done the same shit, right, until the walls closed in on him, but he's not doing that. He's actually taking a fight that he doesn't have to take because Guillermo Rigondeaux is at 122 pounds. He's at 130, right? Rigo has already been written off by HBO and by Top Rank, and these dumbass gullible fans follow whatever HBO, Top Rank, and these other biased, agenda-driven mainstream media sources like to push out there. The propaganda they fucking push. They follow it. And that propaganda is that Rigo's nothing but another boring-ass fighter who really isn't that talented. He's overrated. So Vasyl Lomachenko could have just ran with that shit and said, psh, nigga, nobody really likes you. Nobody's really talking about you. You're not a draw, right? You're boring. He could have said the same shit Carl Frampton said after he promised to fight Guillermo Rigondeaux after he beat Scott Quigg. This motherfucker said before the fight, yeah, if I beat Scott Quigg, we will see who the real Jackal is. After the Scott Quigg fight, he said, well, Rigo's too boring. I got a family to look after. All that yada yada bullshit that these faggot ass fighters say in today's day and age that fighters back then never fucking said, right? Vasyl Lomachenko could have done that, but he didn't. He actually is taking this fight, and I commend him. I give him 100% of my respect, right? Second, I gotta give my props to Rigo. Now, before this deal was made, Rigo was doing a whole lot of talking shit on Twitter, right? And a lot of people were skeptical, you know, was he really about that life? You know what I'm saying? There's another Cuban that talks a lot of shit on Twitter that's not really about that life, and that's Erislandy Lara. So people saw that, they figured, hey, Guillermo Rigondeaux probably doing the same shit with Lomachenko, right? But he wasn't. He's really meaning that he would jump 2 fucking weight classes in order to show the naysayers that he is indeed one of the best fighters in boxing and possibly one of the greatest fighters to ever do it. He is showing that he indeed deserves to be ranked in the top 5 pound for pound, even though motherfuckers was like, why do people have Rigo in the top 5, right? Shit, motherfuckers was like, why do people have Rigo in the top 10 when he hasn't fought anybody? He's been on this layoff. He's fought Drian Francisco and looked boring in that fight. He fought Jazza Dickens. He was knocked down twice against Amagasa. Why is he even in the top 10? He's about to show y'all motherfuckers why he deserves to be considered one of the best fighters in boxing today, right? I gotta commend him because a guy like Rigo, who doesn't have a media backing, right? Actually, the odds are against him to the point where if he loses this fucking fight, he may be written off for good. You know what I'm saying? The fucking fans out there will believe all the shit that HBO, Top Rank, and the biased media pushed against Rigo will be true. It all came to fruition. So this is going to become a fight where it's a must win for Rigo, right? Nobody really wants to see him succeed except hardcore boxing fans. And he realized that he had to take the sacrifice needed to show that he is indeed one of the best. And y'all motherfuckers should give him his respect. 100% props to my dude, Guillermo Rigondeaux, for that fact. So I commend both these fucking fighters, man, for taking this fight. Let me go ahead and give y'all some background information before I end this video. Both these fighters have 2 Olympic gold medals to their credit. Vasyl Lomachenko winning in 2008 and in 2012 at featherweight and lightweight respectively. And Guillermo Rigondeaux winning in 2000 and 2004, both at bantamweight, right? Now, Rigo could have won a 3rd one in 2008, but he was trying to defect from Cuba, which he ultimately did. And then he turned professional in 2009, so he didn't even participate in the Beijing Olympics in 2008, right? Vasyl Lomachenko's amateur record, as reported, is 396 wins with 1 loss. His 1 loss coming from some Russian cat by the name of Albert Selimov, in which he avenged twice. And he also had a little bit of trouble in the Olympics against WBO #1 contender at 135 pounds, Felix Verdejo. Now, Guillermo Rigondeaux's amateur record, as reported, is 483 wins with 12 losses. Now, he's fought 98 more amateur bouts, while Vasyl Lomachenko, you know, fighting 397 amateur bouts with only 1 loss is fucking, I mean, that shit is ridiculous. It's kind of fucked up how Guillermo Rigondeaux's amateur record was glossed over when both of them pretty much had similar success, you know what I'm saying, as they both won 2 Olympic gold medals for their country. That's just, again, another aspect of how Vasyl Lomachenko has these powerhouses backing him. You know what I'm saying? Notable wins as professionals. Vasyl Lomachenko has defeated current 126-pound WBC champion Gary Russell Jr. He defeated former WBA super champion at 126 pounds Nicholas Walters, former WBA super champion at 130 pounds Jason Sosa, and two-time WBO champion at 130 pounds Roman Martinez. His only loss, of course, coming from five-time champion in two weight classes, Orlando Salido. Now, shout out to my man, Curtis Ostriker. I hope I got his name right. You know what I'm saying? We talked about Vasyl Lomachenko needing to show us that he can beat the high-pressure, high-volume style that he lost to in Orlando Salido, right? He hasn't really fought anybody since then to show us that he can conquer that style. So as it dates, today we have seen a style defeat Lomachenko's style. But then we also talked about him fighting Rigo. And I said to Curtis, I said, yo, if Vasyl Lomachenko fights Rigo and defeats Rigo, Rigo is so fucking good that I'll be satisfied. You know what I'm saying? You know, of course, there's still that style that he hasn't beaten, but Rigo is such an accomplished fighter in terms of skill set and his fucking resume, amateur and professional, right? He's such a cerebral fighter. He's one of the upper echelon guys in the sport when it comes to IQ. If Lomachenko is able to get by this guy, well then I'm probably more than 100% sure that he's going to get by that high pressure, high volume style that Orlando Salido possesses, right? Of course, a lot of people are still going to want to see him defeat Orlando Salido even after Rigo. There's still going to be some guys like that. But man, if he fucks around and beats Rigo, I will most definitely gladly place Lomachenko in my top 5 pound for pound. You know what I'm saying? Guillermo Rigondeaux's notable wins. He defeated undefeated WBA super champion at 122 pounds Rico Ramos, former WBA super champion at 122 pounds Ricardo Cordoba, two-time IBF champion at 122 pounds Joseph Agbeko, and then last but not least, 2012 Fighter of the Year and 7-time champion in 4 weight classes, Nonito Donaire. Now, the knock on Rigo is that he's been dropped multiple times in his career. He was dropped twice by Hisashi Amagasa, right? He was dropped against Ricardo Cordoba, which was actually his most competitive fight to date, and that includes the fight against Nonito Donaire. And then he was also dropped, of course, against Nonito Donaire. But the thing is here, each time Rigo gets knocked down, he proceeds to get up and defeat his opponent in worse fashion than he did prior to getting knocked down. So it's almost like, yo, you looking at this fight, you like, damn, better hope Vasyl Lomachenko don't fuck around and knock Rigo down because it could be bad for him. You know what I'm saying? He adapts. A lot of people don't understand he adapts. Also, people are talking about the size advantage. You know, Rigo's definitely the smaller guy. He's a small 122 pounder who's moving up to 130. So he's obviously the smaller guy, right? The thing is, Rigo has made a career out of fighting guys that are much bigger than him. All those guys that I named are much bigger than him, especially Amagasa, Nonito Donaire, and fucking the guy he just fought, Moises Flores. They tower over this guy. You know what I'm saying? Nonito Donaire, yeah, he fought at the smaller weights, but he made a career out of doing what Canelo does, you know, killing himself as the bigger man to fight smaller guys. He made a career out of that shit. So he was clearly bigger than Rigo during that fight. Motherfuckers will rehydrate, you know, 10 to 15 pounds fight night, be way bigger than Rigo. So he's made a career out of fighting bigger guys. This is nothing new to him. Vasyl Lomachenko, what a lot of people, you know, they talk about the glitch in the matrix. And I think people are wrapped up in his offensive arsenal, his ability to move around. You know, I've compared Vasyl Lomachenko in previous videos to Roy Jones Jr., right, as far as his athleticism, and also to Manny Pacquiao as far as his footwork, right? But the knock that I have on Vasyl Lomachenko is that he does the same thing Roy Jones Jr. did, and that was rely on his athleticism more so than his IQ. Remember, all it took was a basic ass fighter who was a bit smarter and Antonio Tarver to defeat Roy Jones Jr. Now I don't want to hear no bullshit, but he had to come down and wait. Fuck that. Antonio Tarver would beat Roy Jones Jr. 9 times out of 10 because he did not allow Roy Jones' superior athleticism to derail him from his game plan. And that is, when you're fighting a speedy fighter, you nullify him with the jab. And that's exactly what Antonio Tarver did. And he fucking timed the shit out of his straight left hand. Vasyl Lomachenko overwhelms his opponents with his athleticism, so they don't know how to answer back. I've noticed that there's 2 ways that you can stop Lomachenko from doing the things he does. Number 1, of course, overwhelm him. We've already seen that happen with Orlando Salido, right? Number 2, if he faces a guy who's smart enough to turn with Vasyl Lomachenko, right? Who can pretty much match him in footwork and also counter him as he's coming in. That can be a problem for him. And he will be fighting that type of guy December 9th. Man, this is a good fucking fight. I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? YouTube, do what you do in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this fight. But be real. This is real talk for real fans. 1.